Hi guys, how are you today? What a beautiful day today. The sun's out. Need to get out and go for some walks. Get these cobwebs from your head all cleared. Lift that feeling of, oh my God, doom and gloom. You really need to do that. And we've been talking about and Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway about the higher self. So the higher self is also an operation when you create miracles in your life. The power to lift a car if a loved one is trapped underneath. I'd said that about the Incredible Hulk. Or the power to accomplish a monumental task that everyone has told you is impossible. I've often heard people say, I didn't know I did it, really, but I did it. Their power came from the higher self. So let's talk about that a wee bit more. Now that I've introduced you to the higher self itself, let me show you the ultra simple model of being. I mean, this model is not comprehensive, but it leaves out many parts of our internal worlds. But let me show you this. So I'm going to overlay here. This is it here. We're going to zoom in on this sections. So we're going to zoom in the top section here and have a wee look at this. So it does serve, however, to remind us that we can choose our experiences in life. So here it is here. The higher self, the source of positive thoughts and positive energy. The chatterbox is a source of negative thoughts and negative energy. And then that flows in. So you've got the higher self and the chatterbox compete against each other, the positive and the negative, into the conscious mind. So let's talk about that. The chatterbox, as you'll remember, is the part of us that tries to drive us crazy. Absolutely. So the chatterbox is the part that drives us crazy. It is the repository of all our negative input from the time that we were born to this present moment. It contains a childlike ego that needs constant attention and doesn't know how to give at all. The conscious mind sends us orders to the subconscious mind based on the information it gets from either the higher self, as I said, or the chatterbox. We can train it to choose from either. I think that's the whole point. We can actually train this to choose from either. The subconscious mind is the storehouse of all the huge amount of information it's given. It is also an access to universal energy. It operates in a computer-like fashion. Your brain is ultimately a computer. At the end of the day, garbage in, garbage out. Positive and good stuff in, positive and good stuff out. So you can train it and program it to do this. And it takes time, but it's possible. And that's how some people succeed and elevate themselves to huge heights, while other people just don't get there. And yet they both do the same things in the beginning. One actually looks at it and thinks about it in a completely different way. It is also an access to universal energy. It operates in a computer-like fashion, sorting out and finding out information. For example, when you can't remember the name and suddenly, when you're least expecting it, pop, the name pops into your head. Often, I've got to laugh at this because I often do that. I'm like halfway through the day and then all of a sudden I start talking to the same person as I spoke to before as if I'd never left the conversation previously, and they're going, what? What are you talking about? And I'm just relaying the rest of the conversation because I've now remembered what I was supposed to talk about. Your subconscious mind has been at work. The subconscious mind takes orders from the conscious mind. I remember my dad always said to me, your subconscious mind is like a hard disk or a computer tape. You remember these computer tapes you used to have? And what happens is when you think of something and you can't remember it, this goes all the way back during the day and looks for this in your mind and runs back the tape and thinks, oh, there it is. And that's how out of the blue you remember. And that's how I was always told. That's what my dad always told me. So it takes orders from the conscious mind. It does not question or judge. You've got to remember that as a computer. It does not know the right from wrong or the healthy from the unhealthy. Remember the arm experiment we talked about previously? When the subconscious mind was told, I am strong and I'm a worthy person. And the arm was strengthened as a natural byproduct. So we'll look at the bottom of this chart as well. So the subconscious mind listens to the conscious mind and carries out the instructions given. And that ultimately leads to the universal energy flow of energy and the internal body, emotions and intellect. And that continually goes round. And that's all the emotional feelings you feel within yourself. And it pulls you from place to place and what you feel within. So when you're lifted, when you watch a film and see it and you emotionally, feel it, That's your higher self. That's you being in touch with your higher self because you're watching that film and actually responding to it from within. So when I'm told I am weak and an unworthy person, the arm was easily pushed down. The subconscious mind believes that the conscious mind tells it whether or not it's true. So the subconscious mind believes what the conscious mind tells it, whether it's true or not, or even whether you believe it or not. Wow, that is remarkable. Morning, Louise. Morning, Jimmy. Morning, Alana. As the model suggests that we've just discussed, your mind can choose to listen to your chatterbox blabbering away with all kinds of self-defeating negativity, or it can choose to listen to your higher self, which is self-affirming, loving, giving, and abundant. All of these exercises we've spoke about in the concept suggest that we are geared toward having the conscious mind open its door to abundance of the higher self, as opposed to the scarcity of the chatterbox. The conscious mind is often not aware that it is being run by the chatterbox. That wee mind, that wee voice in the back of your head, it keeps telling you what makes you think you're so special. What makes you think you can do this? Just tell it to shut up. And even if there is awareness, the conscious mind is so used to listening to the chatterbox that in the course of every day, and every event, it forgets to listen to the higher self and thus needs constant reminding. This is where the affirmations, positive thinking, the audiobooks, the books itself, and the sayings, and whatever other tools have come in handy to remind you that the conscious mind, that you do not have to listen to your chatterbox any longer. As with the higher self, the chatterbox has always been there, and it will always be there for the rest of your life. You've just got to learn to control it and put it into the back and tell it to shut up. No use lamenting the fact that it pops up every once in a while. I guarantee you it will. You must realize that you do have a chatterbox within. We all do. And the more, including the higher self. Neither one is right or wrong. Each simply gives you a different experience in life, and you ultimately decide to choose based on what you're letting in. If you listen to your chatterbox, your experience of life is fear-producing, and you stop yourself from expanding. If you listen to your higher self, your experience of life is joyful and abundant and devoid of fear. Like everyone else, are an expert in listening. You, like everyone else, are an expert in listening to your chatterbox. Me included, but I have a good control of it, and I tell it to shut up. Your task is now to become an expert at listening to your higher self, and then true choice will be possible. And I'll see you tomorrow.